This is High Time Reviews. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. We doing Bel-Air Season 2, Episode 3, Compromised. So, the episode basically started out with the basketball team coming out of the gym. And, you know, Tyler, Will, white homeboy, he ended up making a joke about, like, hopefully Will pass the ball in the clutch. Because he like, look, you said this same shit about you not being selfish last game. And then you went out there and you still did the same shit. So, he like, how can I trust you? He like, you supposed to be my mans. Will say to Tyler, you supposed to be my mans. Like, if I don't have at least one person on the team on my side, how the fuck, you know, am I supposed to survive? And he like, look, bro, I'm just trying to make it to the playoffs. Like, he like, look where we at. We on the cusp of the playoffs. He like, bro, I'm just trying to help the team win. So we'll end up looking at the trophy case at the school, and then Lisa roll up, and they, of course, they have a little moment. Here's my thing. Lisa, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Will, what are you doing? Stop flirting. If you don't like the girl and you don't want to be with her, don't be with her. Now, the one thing Lisa and Will got in common is she understands that Will is ego-driven. So, you know, he laughs and he says, that's why we just click, because everybody else think that I'm super cocky. And, you know, she tell him, like, nigga, you've been a little bit cockier than usual. And, you know, he like, look, I'm just trying to give the people more of me. I'm tired of hiding. You know, she like, oh, yeah, West Philly, Will. So the kids is really pressed over Miss Hughes losing her job. I swear she must be the only other black teacher there besides the bald head lady from the BSU. She gotta be, because why the fuck is they going so hard for this lady? I mean, I understand probably the reason why she got fired, or like the stuff she was doing that got her fired was bullshit, but. So in the next scene, you got Carlton meeting up with the BSU advisor, which is the black lady. So them two have a conversation, and you know, he basically tries to boycott her. He say, shouldn't you be on outside? And she like, I am on your side, but I need to tell y'all that it's probably not a good idea for y'all to do that. Like, and then she tell Carlton, and she pull everything that Carlton trying to do with his high school career and throw it in his face. And he like, do it have anything to do with what I'm trying to do, or do it have anything to do with the new position that you just applied for with the school? She like, maybe. And you know, and so she start, like I said, she's fucking just manipulating the shit out of Carlton to get him to do what she want. And Carlton is sitting right there eating it up, thinking that she has any pull. If the one black teacher that did work there got fired, what makes you think that this lady got any pull? So she ends up telling him, like, you need to get all the kids with the program. And Will end up walking in, and I promise Carlton probably assumed that Will didn't hear that shit. I promise you. And she tried to have a conversation with Will talking about the basketball game. Will still don't trust the bitch, so it doesn't matter. So Carlton tried to change the subject. He like, look, I'm about to order food for lunch. Will like, well, what program she talking about I need to get on board with? So basically, she didn't make Carlton feel like that if they walk out, it's going to embarrass the school. No, what should be embarrassing to the school is that y'all decided to fire one of the few black teachers that y'all had because they decided to expand the curriculum on top of what they're already teaching, that they're doing for free. And Will telling him, like, look, you gave the BSU a little surge of life when you decided that you was going to stick up for Miss Hughes. Now you sitting up here acting like a bitch, basically. And then he like, do you want Ashley to blame herself for Miss Hughes? Because whole time, Ashley could be to blame for Miss Hughes, because if Miss Hughes wasn't giving them books to Ashley in the first place, none of this would have ever happened. So now Carlton, see, the thing about Carlton is he can get manipulated from every direction. He don't even ever, in my mind, he don't make a decision for himself ever, because he's like, he got the advisor lady in his ear, then he got Will in his ear, so he's conflicted. He not thinking, and then he trying to do shit to impress the girl, so he really don't know what he doing. So in the next thing, you at the Banks Manor, and you know, they all discussing the protest. And here's my thing, right? Y'all billionaire kids. So what if y'all get fucking suspended, or so what if y'all get in trouble, or so what if you embarrass the school? Trust me, the school is probably built on the backs of all those kids' parents anyway. So at the end of the day, y'all should be able to do what the fuck y'all want. And y'all got a big black population at the school, so it wouldn't be embarrassing for the students at the school. It would very much be embarrassing for the board of the school. So guess what? I would do what the fuck I want to do. Now, Of course, everybody hyping it up, and Ashley like, well, what if justice doesn't prevail? And you know, that's a good point. What if they do all of this and Miss Hughes still don't get her job back? Good point. So of course, Carlton take this as his opportunity, since more people fuck with him, more black people fuck with him. He take this as his opportunity to host the BSU meeting at the house. And you know, he splits the whole, you know, splits the groups up. Everybody doing this, everybody doing their separate things, and then him and the girl, you know, what's her name, Yasmin. Of course, they end up together in the group. Tyler showed up for the event, and I'm thinking to myself, Tyler, why are you there? But you know what? That is his right hand man. That is like his only white friend. So I guess it's okay for Tyler to show up to shit. So Carlton comes up with a plan to basically use the whole student body versus just the black student body to help push the initiative. And I'm like, that's probably smart, because if you can get the white kids on board too, what, they gonna suspend all the white kids and all the black kids? So Will told him, like, nigga, I think it's best if you get over there and try to get in Yasmin group. Like, Will trying to just get Carlton laid for real. That's all. That's okay. That's his cousin. He's doing the right thing. After Carlton and Will had that conversation, Phil pulled Will up and he told Will, like, look, we trying to wean Carlton off his medication. We need you to just keep an eye on us and let us know if anything go left, as far as like how he's acting. If he acting manic, do he just fucking irrational? Is he fucking having panic attacks? You need to let us know. Like, cause even though he said he probably gonna keep the parents in the loop, he probably not. So after that, Will proceeds to ask Phil, did he look into Doc? And he like, yeah, I don't necessarily feel like that's somebody that you need to be fucking with for real right now. Now, he admits that Doc has the expertise, but it's something else about him that he just don't trust. And I don't blame Phil, because Doc do get me shady, shicey, con man. So, of course, Will's pissed off because he just don't think that Will should be getting in bed with this nigga. And I mean, again, like he asked Will in that first episode, he said, why is this nigga interested in you in the first place out of all the people? He's basically coming to you. And the next thing, you got Hillary basically asking her mother, like, do you and Daddy have anything to say about Jazz? And they like, well, why would we say anything? Why do we have anything to say? I'm like, she like, I know y'all, right? So she basically tell her, like, go ask your father if you feel like, you know, you feel like we have an opinion. She like, he says that Phil gonna say is, baby, if you're happy, I'm happy. And the thing with it is maybe that's exactly how they feel as parents. But again, I'm sure that they feel a way about Jazz not being on a level that they feel like he should be on. So clearly the father do have something to say about Jazz, but the mother just not willing to say what the father has to say about the situation. So then the mother ends up asking her, like, you know, I need a favor from you. And she like, maybe more of a job opportunity. So back at on the inside of the house, and you got Carlton and Yasmin talking. Yasmin telling Carlton, like, I think you should do a speech. Now, Carlton says, so you pick their top Negro to do the speech. You basically, because I'm the class president, you want me to fucking do the speech, like. And he told her, like, you're the president of the BSU, why won't you do it? And she like, it's expected coming from me. It wouldn't be expected coming from you. Like, yeah, she basically told him, like, nigga, use your privilege to do this speech. And I'm just like, how do any of those kids feel less privileged than the next when you probably have to live in that zip code to go to that school? All of them got money. It might not be as much as the Bankses, but they clearly all got money. So I don't understand why they making it a thing as if Carlton's black money is that much off from their black money. It's like weird to me or whatever. So you got Lisa and this dude in a bubble vest chit-chatting, and I'm just like, okay, Lisa. Lisa's little outfit was cute, you know, the strapless with the shit underneath, with the shoulder out, that was cute. So they have chemistry, her and this guy, what was his name, Derek? So they got chemistry. And Will is like watching them from across the room. And I'm like, Will, what are you doing? What are you doing, Will? So Will and he like, you know, Tyler's like, well, you know, he actually likes Lisa, and maybe he'll get his chance. Considering like she fucked with Carlton, and then you came around, so he never really had a real shot. So, oh, his name is Drew. My bad. Yeah, Drew. So, but Will think like he still run that. Like, so Tyler say to him like, "What, you still like her?" Then he like, "All right, well then what do it matter? Like, why can't Drew go after her?" And he like, So Will standing across the room sulking as he see them having a conversation. He rolls up on them and decides that he gonna interrupt their conversation. Like, what? Calls the man by the wrong name. You just learned the man's name. Why would you literally walk up on him and call him the wrong name? You're fucking petty and childish, Will. If you don't want that girl, let it be. Let it be. If you don't want that girl, please. Cause y'all just keeping her in the cast. Y'all keeping her in the forefront when she should be in the background. Where are her parents? Where's the pregnant white woman that the father cheated on with and got her pregnant? Where is she? Your stepmom or whoever. So we'll go over there acting like he a master carpenter / painter, and Lisa ain't buying it. And he like, oh, you want to join us? And we'll look at the situation. He like, us? And he take that as they a thing. So he just like, all right, let me just fall back. He like, well, nah, I don't want to interrupt y'all thing or whatever. Whoop. And I'm just like, well, look at you. Now you got egg on your face because you decided that you was going to run over there and think that you was going to burst their bubble. No. Now you look dumb. And they walked off together. So the favor that the mother want from Hillary is she basically want Hillary to curate her next art exhibit, and Hillary recommend Lisa. So of course she tell Lisa about the job. Lisa fucking embraces her. And just another way for Lisa to stay in the fucking family, even though she fucked 2 cousins. Just another way for her to be around and be tugging on people's heartstrings. Why? They can't use nobody else. You could just look for an assistant, but I mean, granted, she dealt with Carlton for so long, and then she dealt with Will for like a year, so she is family, I guess. Now, in the midst of that, Miss Hughes then showed up to the house, and I'm just like, well, there go y'all whole surprise, because, and again, as an adult, Tatiana, I don't know if you're that good of an actress. Because I feel like she's overacting on here. And I could be wrong. Because why she had to come to the house and have a whole speech? Like, what? So Vivian and Phil end up having a side conversation about whether or not Miss Hughes even got a chance, like, up against the school. So he telling Vivian, like, Miss Hughes just wanted to make the curriculum more inclusive. Now, what she didn't know was that the curriculum that they have, that if you wanted to do anything additional to it, that you probably had to run it past the board, and it's like extensive. So she basically went against her whole entire contract in the curriculum at the school. So she kind of had grounds to be fired, but I get what they saying. Like, it's got to be bigger than just Miss Hughes, right? So of course, Carlton and Yasmin end up in a room by themselves because, they supposed to be working on Carlton's speech or whatever. And, she on him. Like, she been on Carlton ever since he got his black card, returned back to him. So they in a room and they about to have a kissing scene, and Hillary come busting in. And I'm just like, wow, Hillary, you blew it, because Carlton was definitely about to tag. So they end up putting off the kiss, till later. And I'm just like, Hillary, seriously? Now, Phil ended up pulling the kids up, and he telling them, like, look, y'all can do it, but then y'all have to be prepared of the likelihood that the protest may fail and Miss Hughes may not get her job back. Like, now, the problem is bigger than the Miss Hughes thing. So Will is very much like, we need to still fight for it, even if it ain't just about Miss Hughes. And I'm like, all right, cool, Will, you got a point. And Carlton, like I said, Carlton is being pulled everywhere, So he look over and he see Yasmin, and now he want to keep speaking up, sir. So let me ask you this. Would your views on any of this be the same if you wasn't into Yasmin and Yasmin wasn't into you? Because if you're such pro-black ways, like, what are we doing? And then, of course, she keep throwing him the eye every time he do something pro-black. And I'm just like, wow. Not Will asked Carlton, did they have protest sex? Like for real, protest sex stuff. So Ashley comes out the house and she tells Will and Carlton that she can't come to the protest because they sent out a letter from the middle school saying that if anybody come out, they gonna get suspended. I'm like, what? And again, what would a suspension do to these rich ass kids besides send them to Cabo for the weekend, for the week? And here's the thing, Vivian and Phil already backed them. So if Ashley get kicked out of class, or Will and them get kicked out of class, they will be fine. They will be fine. They got pro-black parents. They got pro-black family members. They gonna be fine. Ain't nobody worried about getting fucking suspended. And like I said, to go to that school, you probably have to live in that area. Like, all of them come from some type of privilege. So what? These kids will be fine. They will be fine. So of course they get to the high school, and pretty much they done sent out the same letter to them. Now Hillary, she gonna learn. She gonna learn. She is in absolutely, positively no type of control when it comes to this influencer house. Not one. Not one. So she's meeting with a brand, sparkling something or another, simply spiked or whatever. And now here's the thing: Hillary kills the meeting, but the lady like, you kind of don't have enough followers, so we need to make sure that Ivy is in on, in on this partnership because it'll reach a bigger fan base if we use Ivy. I'm like, first and foremost, Ivy thinks listen, even though it ain't that she think, Ivy's running that shit. So at the end of the day, if she ain't trying to do it, she ain't gonna do it. So like I said, back at the school, they ended up sending the kids an email at the high school and telling them the same thing. Not only would they suspend them from school, they're gonna suspend them from the extracurriculars too. So I'm like, wow. So of course, Carlton take a chance. Carlton take that as his chance to be like, to punk out and shit. He like, well, if these is the consequences, maybe everybody won't be on board to do this because some people can't risk it. I'm like, Carlton, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Carter. You just looking for a way not to do the protest, you weird ass hoe. Like, so all of a fucking sports team end up pulling in, and everybody's saying like most of the kids are still with it. Like, so they decided to have one last meeting about the VSU, and Carlton and Will have a conversation. He like, look, there's no two sides to consider. Like, it's one side is black people, and he like the other side is people that's trying to tear black people down. He like, Carlton, get with it. Like, no, seriously, Carlton, get with it. Get with it. I thought we broke you out of that shit from last season where you felt like you had to be the token black boy. Like, we got it. Like, so they end up having a meeting, the emergency meeting. And people in there running their mouth talking, they not getting suspended for this, that, and the third. Like, oh, so now y'all worried. Again, I don't get it. Why y'all so worried? Why are they so worried? So of course Will stand up and he like, I don't see them being able to suspend every black student, so why y'all stressing it? And he got a point. I mean they could. It would definitely be bad press. It would be bad press, and that's what Carlton said. On social media, they would catch way too much bad press if they decide to suspend all the black kids. So now Carlton takes this chance as, okay, well, let's use the bad press as leverage against the school because they don't want the bad press. So let's see if we can use that as a chip for us to start our conversation. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm guessing Hillary been calling this bitch Ivy, and she ain't been answering the phone. So Hillary ends up going down to her photo shoot just to tell her about the partnership. And I'm just thinking to myself, Hillary, she don't care. She don't care. And every time she brings something to Ivy, Ivy looks at her as if like she shouldn't be doing it. And I just think Hillary Hillary should have just took the money from her parents and bought herself out that contract and left that shit alone and stuck with the cooking dream. Because it's just like, what are you doing? Now you being a lapdog to this weird ass hoe. Like, you should have known she wasn't shit when she tried to kiss your nigga. Like, she like, you came down here while I was working. And she like, listen, we both working. Like, you made me manager of the house, and now you just fucking brushing me off. Now, once she mentions the brand that she's supposed to work with, she like, oh, I kind of like Simply Spike. So she like, well, look, we'll talk about it in a few hours. I gotta go back to work. I'm like, she not gonna have shit to say that you want to hit Hillary, so it don't matter. Now, I don't know what Jeffrey is snooping around for, but he's in Phil's office snooping around, all up in Phil's computer. And listen, Jeffrey, if you think he ain't changed passwords and shit since you've been gone, you're a fucking nutso. So you trying to log into his computer and get whatever information you're trying to get about what? Your son. You're not about to get it off his computer because he changed everything. So of course he make it up from the desk just in time for Phil not to catch him. But Phil is suspicious about why the fuck he's in his office anyway. Now here's my thing. Phil is so salty that he lost this election because now he got to keep going to the firm. And he senses something's wrong with the firm too. So he's just like, I don't even know if I want to keep going in there. So he ends up giving Jeffrey a gift. And, you know, he said to Jeffrey, like, this is a fresh start for the two of us, you know, considering everything that happened. I'm glad to have you home. But see, Phil just like I said, I think Phil's somewhat of a narcissist and he just like having everybody under his thumb under the same house. So Phil sits down at the computer and Jeffrey leaves and he can just kind of like tell shit is off. But he ends up telling Jeffrey like something ain't right about his partner at the firm. And he like, can you trust him? He like, I want to, but I don't really know. Like, he like, can you look into it for me? And I'm like, good, because he was definitely acting crazy. But like I said, when he told Phil that he didn't expect him to come back, they're fucking staging a coup. So Phil might as well be prepared for that. They are staging a coup against Phil. They're going to get Phil the fuck out of there. So Phil checks the computer. Everything the way it is the computer. But the thing is, them files, if they got files about Jeffrey's son, they wouldn't be on his computer. He probably got actual paper files. So Carlton and Yasmin meet with the administrator. And they end up coming to a compromise, but their compromise isn't worth shit for real. So the compromise is they can do the walkout, nobody gonna get suspended, but they can't say shit, they can't chant, they can't do banners, they can't do nothing. So what the fuck are y'all doing? Just literally just walking out of class. Will said, well, fuck that, that's just a fucking fire drill. Like, so everybody else is giving very much, we're on board with it because we're not gonna get suspended. So they do a vote and they end up voting to do the protest with the compromises built in. And I'm just like, that ain't no damn protest. Like, y'all weird as shit. So in the next scene, you got Hillary. Now, Hillary then waited for Ivy for like 3-4 hours. And Ivy like, oh shit, basically like, oh shit, I forgot. So she was like, we were supposed to meet an hour ago. So basically, she think that she about to be a big ass mega brand, and she said that she's not willing to work with the competitors. The competitors. So Hillary basically hit her like, bitch, your brand ain't shit, basically. What do you mean? You're not a competitor to this company. And then she's like, didn't we agree to make Ivy H2O or whatever the drink of the house? And she like, we didn't agree on shit. You basically said what you said and that was that. I'm like, yeah, Hillary, because that's the fuck how it goes right now. So Hillary ended up telling her like, look, Simply Spike is an international brand. Don't nobody even know what the fuck your shit is. Like, and I'm like, she got a point. And then Ivy gonna say they talking about putting a fucking billboard on Sunset for her. Girl, what? Hillary, she don't care about this house. She literally just bought that shit so she can control you, bro. And then Ivy, like a fucking child, just basically tells her like, oh, I don't care. I just don't want to do it. And then just pumps off. And I'm just like, please don't tell Jazz, because Jazz gonna tell you, I told you so. You's a fucking lapdog. Get the fuck out of there. Like, get your parents to pay the $50,000 and leave that shit alone. But see, Hillary, I don't know how Hillary think this plan gonna work. So she ends up texting the lady and telling her like, oh yeah, I can't wait to move forward with the project. Ma'am, y'all not though. Y'all not. How you gonna even fake the funk with Ivy when she ain't gonna do it? How they gonna believe it if she ain't about to do it at all, ever? So it's time for the walkout. Now, like I said, what I appreciate about it was that they just didn't have the black student body doing it. They had the entire student body walking out with them. So now here's the thing. Carlton and Yasmin, they came up with a whole plan about, you know, like basically backdooring the compromise. So even though they got approval to do it, they was going to basically backdoor the school. So Yasmin get caught with the banner, so they end up snatching the banner from her, and she's screaming Carlton, and his anxiety is flaring the fuck up, and she's like, look, you can still do the speech, you know, and everybody's like telling Carlton, do the speech, do the speech, do the speech. And of course, Carlton can't take because it's too much. It's too much. You got the bald head lady, the black lady looking down at him with her fucking nose frowned up. And you got the kids enticing him to do something that he don't know if he can even possibly manage to do because of his anxiety. This nigga start having a whole panic attack, and Will finally has to come over. He like, boy, is you all right? But see, Will don't make it no better either, because Will basically tells him the same thing, like, bro, you need to do this. But he can also see that Carlton is going through some shit, so he basically tell him, like, don't even worry, bro, I got your back. Like, so of course the administrators come out and they try to tell the kids, like, it's time for y'all to get back, you know, go back to class or whatever. So Will is like bolting through the campus, and he just snatched the banner back, and he runs all the way to the tip top of the school, and you know, he drops the banner, and the banner says Black Teachers Matter, and then they start a whole chant. And I'm just like, see, Carlton, another opportunity where you had a chance to be a hero for your school, but you allowed Will to take over. And you wonder why the whole fucking school love Will, and they be on the fence about you. Will ain't worried about getting suspended, like I said. And another reason why Will probably ain't worried about getting cut from no extracurriculars, because if you get cut from the school basketball team, they'll probably give him time to play for Doc. So he's not worried. And of course, Carlton's having a whole nervous breakdown when he dropping the banner, but it's like, bitch, you could have been the one who did it. You could have been the one who did it, but no, you chose to be a pussy. But again, I'm not going to call him a pussy because his anxiety is flared up. But he was being a pussy all episode because he was on the fence about the whole shit. A suspension for you wouldn't have been shit. Should have ate that shit. HighTimez out. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch y'all next week for the next episode.